Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about the concept of language matters. Watch your mouth. So, we'll get to that in a second. Slow your breath, slow your thinking. You probably know where this one's going, don't you? Probably. If you've watched me for any length of time, you do. Breathe in the calm, exhale the chaos. Language matters. The language we use to describe our experience matters. It's one thing to say, yeah, it's hurting, it's pretty strong, versus using language that is right out of the script of a horror movie. Burning, ripping, tearing, crushing, etc. And I won't elaborate, but you get the point. Language matters. Complaining about our symptoms keeps them alive. Why? Because what it's doing is it's conveying to our brain that I am in a really bad place. I hate it. It sucks. My life is awful. And how much of that is conveying any amount of safety? Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand completely how easy it is to get down by the symptoms, by the condition of your life, by the lack of mobility, lack of activity, lack of social life, lack of anything. In many cases, no job, no nothing. We can barely eat certain foods. Look, I get it. Extremely life-altering. But I will say, we got to focus on the solution. The solution is clarity and teaching the brain, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. And if we spend any amount of time complaining about how much we hate our lives, how much we hate our symptoms, whether it be out loud or inside our inner dialogue, what we're doing is unknowingly, this is by a default, we don't realize we're doing it, but unknowingly we are delaying recovery. Because if we are in the complaining, suffering, victim, everything is awful stage, you're pulling the danger alarms, and the symptoms are less likely to alleviate. Sometimes you may have, an accidental, I was pretty engaged in life for a little while, and I got out of my own head and stopped worrying for a little bit, and I felt a little better. That's a clue. That's a really good clue as to how this stuff works. So take a moment and think back to any times that are really bad and other times that are really worse or really better, and notice, where was your mindset at the time? What was your level of inner dialogue or external dialogue with others? When things were really bad, were the complaints higher? Were they louder? Were they more descriptive as to how awful things are? And on days where you were doing better, what you may notice is that on those days, you weren't really thinking about it at all. You were engaged in life. You might have been out to lunch with some friends. You may have been on a phone call with somebody that you love and you were laughing and reminiscing or talking about fun stuff. Maybe you were on holiday. Maybe there's a whole bunch of opportunities for you to look back and say, I felt better. What was I doing then? Not physically what was my motor, what was my body doing, but what was going on up here? Where was my attention? Because here's the deal. When we do normal things, the brain has no choice but to say, look at Dan. He's doing normal things. He must be better than we think. But if you are even out doing things and engaging in life, but you're doing it with an inner dialogue of this sucks so much, I hate this, I wish I wasn't symptomatic, and I wish it could have been better and different and everything, right? Doing things, doing life is not a cure by itself. We got to have the requisite mindset behind it. If I'm doing life because life is more important than sitting home stewing and brewing and complaining about symptoms, whether the complaints are out loud or internal. And I've said a lot of times, do your best not to complain about your symptoms. And for a lot of us, we stop sharing with others about our symptoms. But if you pause and listen to the internal dialogue, we're complaining to ourselves all day, every day. So Start to notice that. What is your internal dialogue? And are you fueling the despair, the misery, the suffering, the I don't know if this is ever going to get better? Or are you fueling what I was saying yesterday? I can get well. I will get well. Just watch me. I want you to get that mojo, that feeling of I'm in the right place. It starts with clarity. Do the assessments, folks. And if it says it's TMS, it's TMS. If it says perceived danger, that's what it is. Rejecting that because it feels so real isn't going to do you any favors. It isn't going to speed you up, and it's not going to keep you safer. It's going to keep you from moving forward in this process. But if you know and you accepted the holy crap moment of I'm really okay, these are false alarms. This is a brain that's in overprotective mode. If you know that, it's easier to start conveying that I'm going to be okay. I'm really going to be okay. So, I know how challenging this is. It's extremely challenging. But language matters. Pay attention to the language that's coming out of you, to others around you. Pay attention to the inner dialogue, because that's way more important, because we speak internally, thinking, all day, every day. The external stuff may only be sometimes. Now, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, Dan, but I have people asking me all the time, how you doing? It's an opportunity for you to practice not engaging in telling the story of how bad it is. Look, I get it. We want the empathy, the sympathy. But if we do that on a regular basis, we are not moving ourselves forward. We are basically keeping ourselves in the dialogue of, I'm in trouble, danger. So if people are asking you, it can get to the point where you say, I'm doing okay, moving in the right direction. Thanks. How are you? Change the subject. That sounds way better than, boy, let me tell you how bad my symptoms are. And then go on for 10 minutes telling how awful life is. Huge difference. I hope you can see that. The other thing that I did that I found extremely useful was I had to coach everybody around me, neighbors, family, wife, son, parents, brother and sister, neighbors, co-workers. I said neighbors twice. Co-workers. I had to tell everybody, even if I look like I'm struggling, don't ask me. Assume what you see is what it is, but I don't want to talk about it. And I don't want attention drawn to it, because the more attention drawn to it, the more difficult it is. So if you have family members that are always like, how you doing? Maybe you should go see a doctor. Coach them gently, lovingly. I know you care. I know you love me. I love you too. But I'm on the right path. I'm in this process of retraining my brain that I'm really not in danger. That's the way to go forward. That's the way to get people to ask you about it less. And look, if you have a caring and loving partner, wonderful. And if once in a while you kind of feel like, leaning on their shoulder, maybe crying a little bit, or getting a hug, wonderful. A good friend, wonderful. A parent, wonderful. Don't make that your default. Don't make that every day. Make that a once in a long time. And I'm not saying suffer in silence. What I'm saying is suffering out loud, or even the internal dialogue, will perpetuate the suffering. So a lot of times the symptoms suck. The symptoms are difficult. They feel awful, very distressing. But the symptoms don't create the suffering. It's our response to it, mentally and emotionally. And if you are mentally and emotionally not in the complaint, despair, this is never going to end mode, suffering automatically changes. You don't suffer as much. And I see it all the time in my group coaching members. Dan, I still have symptoms. They're still about the same since I started a few weeks back. But I don't care as much. I'm not suffering as much because my mindset is better, because I know I'm on the right path and I see the possibility and probability that I'm going to get better. You see how that works? And so I get to see it every week with my group coaching members. So I'm certain that the less you complain about, focus on your suffering, the better your mindset gets, the more optimistic you see the world, and the better you'll feel mentally and emotionally first, mindset first, and then later the symptoms catch up. The mindset needs to lead the way. So, really important. Language matters, folks. What language are you using? Optimistic, I can do this, this is going to work for me, or I'm in trouble, this is never going to happen. It's awful, horrible. Don't use words out of a horror movie script. You're not doing yourself any favors. So, I'm going to wrap it up here. Love you, folks. As usual, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.